Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark of the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 1937 horror romantic film A Song at Midnight, or Ban Ge Sheng.
不要太欺负人了。你想学恶霸的行为来压迫人吗？我的事更用不着你。
Hey, that's not fair. I'm actually a really nice person. I'm not a bully at all. In fact, I'm just trying to review every movie that's in this book, the 1001 movies you must see before you die. A Song at Midnight is considered to be China's first major horror film. It's widely regarded as the first true horror film in Chinese cinema. It's the first to fully embrace horror tropes such as mystery, disfigurement, revenge, and a haunting atmosphere. It's influenced by Western Gothic horror. It's widely inspired by the Phantom of the Opera, which I reviewed on this channel as well, and I gave a 10 out of 10 to. I thought that movie was absolutely fantastic. It adapts that story into a Chinese cultural and political context. It has political subtext and social commentary. Beyond horror, it carries a strong anti-authoritarian and revolutionary themes. The disfigured phantom figure reflects injustice and oppression in a pre-communist China, and it uses shadow, sound, and mood in ways that were advanced for Chinese cinema in the 1930s. The use of shadows in this movie is absolutely perfect. You have the haunting figure of the Phantom who lurks throughout the theater, and the huge, just billowing shadow that he casts is absolutely phenomenal. I will say there are some issues with this movie, at least with the film. It doesn't seem like it's preserved as well as American films from the 1930s. You run into this problem quite a bit. It seems like older foreign films are a few years behind American films, at least in the picture quality and the sound quality. This film is very dark and grainy at times, especially in the very beginning of it. It's kind of hard to make out what's going on or who's who because it is so dark. The sound is also a problem, but you get this in a lot of older foreign films as well. This also happens in Marx Brothers movies as well that aren't edited as good as they should be, where you'll have this really tense scene, this climactic scene that has all this great music and sound and things going on, and then all of that just stops. There's no sound, there's no music, it's just complete silence where sound should be, but nothing is there, and it takes you out of the movie a little bit. At least it used to when this first started happening to me, but now I just realized it's going to happen because it's an old foreign film, and that's just what happens in old foreign films. But it can be kind of annoying if you're not used to it. So those are some technical issues with the movie. Besides that, it's pretty good. It's definitely not as good as Phantom of the Opera. I think Phantom of the Opera is a masterpiece. I think that this is a couple steps down from that. So when the film opens up, we are introduced to a theater troupe. They have rented out an old rinky-dink rundown theater that they want to do a play at. They realize when they get in that it's going to need a lot of work. It's going to need a lot of TLC to get this thing back up to code to where it needs to be. The lead singer named Sun is set to sing a solo in practice, but they realize that he does not know the words to the song. So he is asked to be left alone so that he can figure out the words and do his solo practice. Now, while trying to figure out the words, he hears a voice coming from somewhere else, from another room. That is a beautiful voice. The singing in this movie is absolutely perfect. The singing voices are beautiful. The songs, when translated, don't make a lot of sense, or at least they're not romantic songs. It's like, I'm a lily pad floating, or I'm a hunk of seaweed floating on a pond. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, the lyrics are kind of ridiculous. Maybe it's just because of how it's translated, but the singing voices are absolutely beautiful. And he hears this voice and he wonders, who is this person singing my lyrics from another room? So he goes to the guy who's in charge of this theater. He's like this hunchback guy, and he's like, walks like this and talks really weird, and he's like, hey, is there anyone else in this theater? And the guy says no. And then he hears the singing voice again. And he's like, oh, you mean that guy? That's Song Dan Ping. He is someone who's been living here for a while. I keep him here in my attic. And Sun's like, oh, I've heard of that name before. I thought that guy was dead. Like Snake Plissken. Thought he was dead. But no, he's not dead. And he is going to teach you the lyrics to this song so that you can be successful with your theater troupe. So Dan Ping basically teaches him the lyrics to the song, and when Sun goes to visit Dan Ping, he realizes that he is covered in this like cloth, in this towel, this hood, and Dan Ping starts to give him his story about why he's still alive, why everyone thinks he's dead. So he's a revolutionary, and he went and I think he like fought for the revolution or something. And when he came back, he decided he was going to be a singer in this theater, and everything was going great. He fell in love with this girl named Jia, and Jia's father, though, did not approve of their relationship. Now, Jia had another suitor named Tang, and Tang decided that he was going to basically capture Dan Ping and torture him. He throws acid on him and disfigures him completely. While recovering, Dan Ping takes off all of his wraps because he hears that Jia can't wait to see him. So he takes his wraps off and he realizes that he is horribly disfigured, and he is absolutely shocked and stunned by how he looks because he had no idea that his wounds were that bad. And in a moment of grief and anguish and utter despair, he throws himself on the table. He's writhing in pain from probably how his skin feels with the air touching him, and pain from knowing how he looks and thinking that Jia will never want him back. And he tells everyone, he says, tell Jia I'm dead, tell her that I'm no longer alive, she can't see me like this. So what happens is the guy who is in charge of the theater, the hunchback guy, invites Dan Ping to stay at the theater and live there. And Dan Ping only sings at midnight every night because Jia is across the way, and he's singing to Jia to comfort her in her time of grief. Now, he has two plans in this movie. His first plan, we learn right away, he wants Sun to learn how to sing just like him in the same voice as him so that he can woo. It seems like he wants him to woo Jia and comfort her and make her feel like he is actually Dan Ping, from what I understand. That doesn't actually seem like what happens, but that's what I gathered is what he wanted to happen. So, I mean, that ends up being the case. He teaches him how to sing just like him. And then Sun goes over to Jia and woos her, and she's comforted by it, and she has like this new lease on life type of thing. We later learn, though, that Sun has a girlfriend, and when Dan Ping finds this out, he is beside himself with grief because he wanted Sun to fall in love with Jia and for them to be together. But he says, look, it's not your fault. You were in love. I should have dotted all these I's and crossed all these T's before I asked you to do this. This is my fault. This is my mistake. I was too hasty in what I was doing. But he says, look, I have this great idea. So the theater troupe ends up, at first, it's great when things are going well, but then eventually they become financially strapped for cash. So Dan Ping says, look, I have this idea. I wasn't just pursuing a woman while I was here. It wasn't all just grief that I was doing while I was here. I was also writing plays, and I wrote this great play for you. It's called Hot Blooded. Check it and see. I got a fever of 103, and I want you to go in there, and I want you to sing this song and put on this play. It's going to be a big hit. Your names are going to be in lights. Everyone's going to come. It's going to be great. So he puts on this show, and it is a huge success. Everyone loves it. But then Tang shows up, and Tang decides he wants to pursue Sun's girlfriend. Now, Tang basically forces himself on Sun's girlfriend. Sun finds out what they're doing and tries to save his girlfriend, but she ends up like throwing herself in front of him. When Tang has a gun, Tang shoots and kills her. And then at that same moment, Dan Ping is there, and he gets his revenge on Tang and kills him. And after that, the there's this mob of people. So, I mean, I don't know if you can, like, this is not really a monster movie, but it's like a horror disfigurement type film. All of these movies from like the 1930s seem to at some point have a crowd of people with pitchforks and like flame, and they're like, kill the guy. So they think that Dan Ping is a monster. They don't think he's a human. So they like rush him to try to kill him. They end up like getting him in this tower, like in Frankenstein. Frankenstein's caught in the tower at the end, and they like set it on fire and stuff. That's basically the movie. That's basically how it ends. I thought it was good. I didn't definitely not as great as Phantom of the Opera. I'm not a huge fan. Like, this is a horror film. I'm not a huge fan of the political stuff that they put in it and the social commentary and the subtext and all of that. I wish it was just a straight, like, this guy is burned or something, and they're going to go after him because he's causing, like in the Phantom of the Opera, if I remember right, it's because the Phantom was causing all this chaos, and he was like doing actual bad deeds in this in this theater, and that's why there was this like huge uprising to kill this guy. But in this movie, there's no real proof that he's a monster. He doesn't do monster things, or it doesn't seem like he does bad things while he's in this theater. He's just singing to this girl. It's not till the end of the movie where he kills a guy that the whole town wants to kill him now with pitchforks and like flame sticks because he killed one person and because he's disfigured. I think it's like the disfigurement that's supposed to make him the monster, which I'm not a huge fan of. But I wasn't a huge fan of the revolutionary part, and at the end they even say he's like, well, he's a revolutionary, let's get him. Not a fan of the political stuff. I just wish it was a straight horror movie without that. The film quality is an issue at times. It doesn't look great. The sound quality can be an issue. It doesn't always sound perfect. The singing is great, but the cutting in and out of the audio is not something that I necessarily enjoy. But the story is fine. It's a love story. It's kind of weird to me that he has this guy. He's trying to train him to sound just like him and pretend like he's him. I don't know. The plot's kind of weird to me. It doesn't always work like it should, but it's still a good movie. It's not the best movie I've ever seen. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you. I hope you join me next time. I think my next review is Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. Have a great day.